So welcome to Successful Migrant Stories, and today I'm sitting down with Gerhard Meijer. Welcome to Successful Migrant Stories, and thank you for telling us your story.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm excited. It sounds very good.
Now, tell me about the country you came from. How did your family end up there, and how did you end up here in Australia?
My parents immigrated to South Africa when they were young and settled down there. And we were a family with 4 children. Grew up in South Africa. I went to university there and studied engineering. Had my own construction business there for about 15, 16 years. And my wife and I started traveling quite a bit, and we just felt that maybe we should look at somewhere to go for better opportunities for our children, for our 2 kids. So we decided we came on holiday in 96 to Australia, and we loved it. And at least they play rugby and they play cricket. So they don't play rugby very well.
We used to play rugby.
Yeah, I know.
96 we had a good team.
On the odd occasion, 95 you didn't have a good team because South Africa won the World Cup.
That's right. The 90s were a lot better for us than this decade has been.
But anyhow, so I'm still supporting South Africa rugby team because at least they win something every now and then, so that's a good thing. But as long as they beat the Kiwis, we're happy.
That's right.
So we came here in 98 and settled on the Gold Coast.
Why did you choose Queensland out of the whole world?
I think we sort of identified with Queensland climate being very close to what we were used to in Johannesburg and Pretoria, that sort of area. Mm-hmm. And it's not too cold. We thought Melbourne and those areas were a little bit cold in winter, and
I agree.
We quite liked the climate. We liked the area. We came here, had a good look around everywhere, and we decided to settle on the Gold Coast. So we came when we moved here. Obviously, we were quite a group of South Africans that moved here, and we had quite a bit of an infrastructure with friends, and all doing the same thing, not knowing where we're going to end up and what we're going to do. I didn't have a job. I didn't know where I was going to go, and the money from South Africa to here is not really good, the exchange rate, so we didn't have much. And we had to start from scratch, basically. I bought a little business from somebody, and I just developed that over a period of time. And, now I've got a concrete fencing business that I've had for 21 years and still going strong. Mm-hmm. And
so you're in a small manufacturing business?
We manufacture our own panels. We install them all over the Gold Coast, mainly in your upmarket estates like your Sanctuary Coves and your Hope Island, etc. But so we have it's a small business, but it's been a very successful business for us over the years. And it is physically quite hard work, but I don't mind it. It keeps me fit and it keeps me going. So every morning early, I'm out there and enjoy what I do.
How many staff do you have?
I've got 2 concreters manufacturing the panels, and then I've got a patcher, and I do all the footings and the installations myself. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That would be very physical work.
Yeah, it's physical work, but I'm so used to it now. It's like a normal thing. So
yeah.
And if you work hard and you work hard on your business, there are benefits as well. So my wife and I love traveling, so we do a lot of cruises and all that.
Nice.
It's not like Stuart. I used to have my own boat, and I said to Stuart, I'm going to sell the boat because being on a boat is hard work and it costs a lot of money. I'd rather go on a ship where there's a captain there that takes me somewhere different every day. So
I think I'm with you.
Yeah. So we're doing that, quite a bit of that. And when we came to Australia, it was quite a bit of a change, and you had to adapt to everything here. I mean, I remember we moved into our house on Hope Island here, and about a week later, I said to my wife, I've run out of underpants. Do you know where the underpants are? And because in South Africa we had servants, Sophie and Aletta were working with us in the house, and they did all that work. My wife would do the washing, put it on the line, and forget about it. So a week later, we found out that the washing was still there, and my underpants turned yellow by then. But anyhow, so yeah.
Most Australians have absolutely no idea what it's like to have that tiered economy where servants are just everywhere.
Yeah, and we loved it. We loved them in South Africa. They were in tears when we left, because obviously it was great for them to be able to work with us, and they were wonderful. But we love Australia. It's been a while to adapt, and but we love it here. My son is a dentist. My daughter is a pharmacist. So they have successful careers.
Yep.
And that's why we came. That was the purpose. You know, if I had a choice, I would probably have stayed there. But because of the kids, we came, and we now love it. We really enjoy it. Australia. It's a great country.
Tell me about some of the challenges you've faced in business. Major problems that you might have encountered, which you've overcome.
Well, I think the major problem when you come from a different country is that the labor environment here is so different to what we used to in South Africa and in other countries. Labor over here gets paid probably more than what highly skilled people are paid in other countries, and a lot of them are not even skilled at all, and that was always a bit of a problem for us to get used to that, And I think at the end of the day, I have learned to do a lot of the things myself because of the hard work that I do and the hard work that we as a family do. And instead of employing extra people and having the drama at the end of the day and not getting the jobs done properly. So I think labor has been, in my business, a big bugbear. And I've been training people, and I've been, over the years, I've done various things, but it's always been a bit of a problem.
Now, if you were made Prime Minister and were able to fix three things about Australia very quickly, what three things would you change about Australia as Prime Minister for the day?
I think there's a lot more than three things, but I like Scott Morrison. I think he does a great job. But there are certain things that there's a lot of red tape nowadays in construction and in building, protectionism, protecting clients unfairly against contractors, because the client is, the legal side always protect the clients more, and the contractor seemed to be always at fault, which sometimes is unfair. They're not really interested in listening to the other side of the story. So a lot of the local, like the QCATs and legal systems, sometimes
the civil administrative tribunals.
Yeah, they very one-sided in their opinions and stuff now. And then also, I would say that one of the things is that we have to look at immigration in the sense that we don't just bring people in here for the sake of bringing people in. Skilled people are fine. If there's a need in the country for it, bring them in. But I think we bring in people that are not skilled, that are creating more problems for us than what it's worth. And I think I would, if I was Prime Minister, I would look at something like that, in the whole world. And now, in Britain, it's Brexit, and they're trying to bring that in because of the problem that they have over there, that people are just coming in left, right, and centre.
Just to get a bit of control over their borders.
Yeah, so I think that would be an important aspect. I think as well is that the government seem in this country to be bound by too many senates, and it's difficult to get a law through, even with the current political party having a major one. They still struggle to get certain laws through, and I think, I don't know, I think there should be some sort of way, if there's laws to put through, not to block it at every opportunity. And I think the Greens and the far right people, they have way too much say. If people start gluing themselves to the roads, open the roads up so they drive over them, quite honestly. If you want to be glued to a road, take the punishment. I just don't have time for that sort of thing. And I think it's maybe out of my business environment that I'm from, business is tough. So it toughens you up.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful in business, you've got to be tough. You've got to be able to stand up. You know,
not everybody constantly mollycoddling you and providing safety nets for your mistakes.
Yep.
Now, if you were to provide, let's say, the generation that's currently finishing school or finishing university, maybe an individual with advice on how they could make the most out of their life and be successful, what would you say would be a great piece of advice, perhaps that you might have given yourself at the same age?
I think when we grew up 30, 40 years ago, and we started, there wasn't much opportunity. So everything that we're doing today, at that time, you were looking for things to do. We were disciplined and focused on what we were doing. And I think a lot of the young people nowadays, they just go with the flow, what everybody else says. And there's no real drive to be successful in what you do. People give up too quickly. And I think young people need to learn to focus. And if they find something that they like and they do, keep at it, and eventually it will come your way. When I bought this little fencing business, I thought initially, I don't know how I'm going to make this work, because the builders were telling me that they didn't want to use my precast fencing system because they give the bricklayers the work to do the fences, and it was part of their contract. So no one wanted to use it, but I persevered. I kept on going, and seeing them and explaining to them the product. And at the end of the day, they swung over and they started using my product. So it wasn't just give up. They don't want to use me. This is not going to work. I kept on plugging away with the same thing, and even did other things, like I was building factories out of concrete and doing other things to fill in time so that I could focus on my fencing business. Wow. And I think that's what the problem is nowadays. If something doesn't work 100% in one way, we just give up. We just stop. And I think there's so many opportunities out there, but people need to be more driven and more focused on what they want to do, and work at it. Hard work has never stopped anything. If you're prepared to put shoulder to wheel, if you're prepared to put in the hours, put in the effort, it will work for you. As long as you're focused on it and you keep on sticking at it.
So the magic word I'm hearing in your advice and your story to be successful as a migrant in a foreign country is perseverance. Absolutely.
Perseverance and determination. Be determined to succeed. My wife and I both have always said, even in South Africa, we want to be successful because we're prepared to put shoulder to wheel. And I'm proud today because my kids have learned that from us, and they're in the same boat. So and it's good to see them achieve what they're achieving now. It's just because they've seen what their parents have done.
Thank you very much for telling us your story.
Not a problem.